Paula, thank you so much for coming through and having this conversation with me. It's a bit of a minefield, isn't it? I mean, on the one hand, it's an opportunity to meet new, interesting people online dating. But on the other hand, there is a minefield to navigate. How tricky is it to do that, to find that balance between what you want and what you don't want?
And I think you have to be very clear up front. What are you looking for and which platforms are you going to use when it comes to shopping online for Mr. or Miss Right? There are different platforms. They have different reputations, good, bad, and it's a bit like, I like to associate it with similar to when you are looking for a job. You go and you register your profile online on different networks like PNet or Career Junction. It's similar to online dating platforms. And the process is, you know, online dating makes it easier for us to access. We have a wider variety of choice, but we still have to put in place certain steps, particularly around self-safety and also out there in terms of what we're putting out there online.
Yeah, so let's talk about the positives then. The ability to meet people that you ordinarily would not bump into, I imagine, ranks really high on that. But also, some of the sites actually are very specific about what kind of person you are looking to meet, right?
Right. So it's around, first of all, putting that profile up there, and the pros are that it does give you wider access to whether it be a geographical location or whether it gives you different types of demographics of people. There's a lot more choice out there than should we stay within our own realms and our own suburbs and our own communities or our own friendship groups. So the pros are it gives us access to more choice and wider than what we would normally be associated with. Then there's also the pros of its convenience. Everybody knows these days that we access platforms, and that's through social media, the different channels, different platforms that we're on. So it's convenient. Just like shopping online has become convenient. Yeah. So it's very convenient. It's easy to do. We can do it from the comfort of our own home or anywhere for that matter, as long as we have internet connectivity. So there's much more, it's much more easy and accessible.
And it's produced some love stories, I believe. I mean, I've been hearing people talking about, I certainly knew that there's enough people out there now that will say we met on Facebook, we met on Instagram, we met on Twitter, but actually even the newer dating apps such as Tinder, I'm told, have produced some successful love stories.
There are definitely success stories out there, as much as there are the horror stories out there, and I think it's how you approach the experience. Even if you are doing online dating, at some point you have to take the relationship offline in terms of the face-to-face contact. Yeah. That is very important to determine the chemistry between you and the other person, and if there is anything there worth exploring and going further down the line.
How tricky is that then, as we switch to the cons of online dating? That face-to-face interaction key, but not always the safest,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and let's be honest, when we are behind a computer, it's easy to hide behind the screen, and we don't necessarily always tell the truth when it comes to our profiles and what we put online. Some of the biggest things are, you don't look like your profile picture because your profile picture was 10 years ago. Things like that. Whereas face-to-face, you can really start getting a sense for that person by observing their behavior, their character traits, their personality. The more time you spend with them is their interests and their hobbies, and the kind of person that they are, and how you feel when you are face-to-face with that person, which you can't necessarily get when you're online with that person.
I wonder if you're able to talk about the interaction dynamic online versus when these people meet face-to-face. I suspect that, behind the safety of, I'm on this app and I'm chatting with this person and I'm not really talking to them directly, I could be a bit more, outgoing in the way that I present myself. But when it's now time to have the face-to-face conversation, it's entirely different.
Absolutely, and I think everybody dreads that awkward silence when you meet someone for the first time. And whereas if you're behind the computer or your device, you don't have to really deal with those awkward silences. So I think it's how prepared you are when you go out there and meet someone face to face, because the chemistry is going to be different. Behind the scenes, as you said, you can be a lot more brave, you can be a lot more risque, because of the safety of this person is not in front of me and they don't know where I live or where I come from or anything along those lines. Whereas face to face, there is that more, you're in my personal space now, and I have to engage with you even if it feels awkward.
Yeah, we can't just have these awkward silences. Paula, lastly, give us your tips on, how to get the most out of online dating and those apps. Get the most out of it, use it to your advantage, but also use it safely.
Yeah. So the pros, it definitely is easier to meet people. There's a lot more choice there. It is convenient. It's quicker access to a market or markets that you wouldn't have access to before. I think going on there can also bring some stress, because depending on how many platforms you're on at the same time and managing all of these dynamics and all of these people, that it could lead to that you end up having a lot of pen pals or a lot of cyber pals versus really physically meeting people and getting to know them and building a foundation where you could end up in a happily ever after down the line. And taking care of your safety in terms of what you disclose up front, too soon, too quick, too much, as opposed to meeting in public places, letting people know where you are, who you're going to meet, having a sense of familiarity of the area that you're going to, and also, having an exit strategy if you need to, if you feel that a situation is not safe at all.
And we've not even touched on the other emotional pitfalls, such as, I understand there are actually phenomena, emotional interaction phenomena that are developing, such things as ghosting.
Yes.
Do you know about
ghosting,
those?
phishing,
Yes.
Benching.
Benching, I'm told. There's something called benching. What is benching?
Yeah. So it's really around almost like playing one against the other. So I'll benchmark you and I'll hold you there, and then I'll see who else is there, and I'll kind of play one against the other to see how far I can take this.
Yeah.
And
ghosting is when you disappear.
When you just disappear on the person.
Which is, you take it as, I suppose, it's my prerogative whether I want to continue to flirt and interact with this person, but actually it has elements of emotional treatment of the other person,
Absolutely.
Right?
We don't like being rejected as a human being in our human psyche. And when someone ghosts you, it's a form of rejection. And if it keeps happening more and more and more often, we keep getting, it starts affecting our sense of self, our self-worth, our self-being, our self-value, and our self-esteem and our self-confidence, which can impact us in terms of having healthier relationships going down the line. So I think it's about really being aware of your intentions, of why you're going onto social media, what you're looking for from a dating profile, the kind of person that you're looking to meet up with, and then how you go out and create that and not take it on too personally around the frogs that you may have to kiss along the way.
Sure. Paula Quinsee, thank you so much for coming through and having this conversation with me. We've been talking about the interesting world of online dating and also the many pitfalls that are there, while also opportunities are there as well to meet new and interesting people.